Hey everybody, Chance Priest here, and today I'm going to do a film review. I've been wanting to do film reviews forever, and I did one on your, and then several people said, "Hey, do another film review, do one every week." So, man, I like doing it, so I'm going to do it. You know, life's short. I figured this out a long time ago, y'all. Life is real short, and if you want to do something, do it. I know people say that all the time, but people don't actually do it. I do it, so I'm doing it. I watched a film just for this review, and I watched it not last night, not before last, and then I finished it in the morning. I fell asleep. So that happens with me. Old age. Anyway, so last night my kids had some time off, and it's kind of our tradition that when these new scary movies come out, not the I don't like the torture type. I like the supernatural type, and these ones. Heck, I can't even remember the name of the series and everything, but it's called The Nun. I know, probably a lot of y'all guys. I watch about 5 or 6 movies a year at the movies. I grew up being one of those guys that I might go to the movies 5 times in one week. I mean, I loved going to the movies, but I'm busy all the time. I'd rather be stove up doing artwork, and then when I get, mentally wasted or whatever, I take it in and I put a DVD in, and that's what I do, so. I don't like going to the movies so much anymore. I don't like crowds and people and all that stuff like that. But anyway, so we go watch The Nun, and my wife went with us because she likes scary movies. Although she ain't got no imagination, so nothing scares her. I mean, if the devil shot up out of the ground and went, she just freaking, oh whatever, she wouldn't think nothing of it. So of course me, I'd be down. But anyway, so we went and watched The Nun, and right off the bat, I'll tell you, I'm not going to tell you the whole movie and everything because I'm sure some of y'all watched it, but I have a classification, and it's shit your britches scary, and this one was shit your britches scary. Sorry, but that's what in the family, that's what we say, man. That is shit your britches scary. So that one really scared me real bad, and for those of y'all don't know me, I've actually experienced some supernatural stuff. Not just stuff like in my imagination, like everybody always says. No, there was actually people there, witnesses, people that don't even believe in nothing, and they were like, I can't explain it. So anyway, so this movie, right? It starts out like it started out with that kind of 1930s, the whole Bela Lugosi vibe. They bring in the Exorcist, and then they bring in they go to the Romania, looks like the Carpathian Mountains or something, so it was like pretty legit, so anyway, and then the actors were great, man. I mean, I just thought they were really I don't know if he's Spanish or Argentinian or whatever is the lead guy, man. He was like legit, and then I never seen that girl act in anything, but she was really good. So anyway, it's one of those ones that you go for a while and you're like, okay, nothing, it's kind of creepy, not really scary, and then it builds up, and then wham, it hits you, and wham, and then it hits you again, and then it has all the jump scares, which I guess certain people don't get scared, but I do, So and what's weird is I've done a bunch of dangerous stuff, and I never got scared. I never ever got scared, ever. No matter how crazy the deal was, I was like it didn't scare me. So, but this thing scares me, okay? And of course it had the nun, and it is just a demon, and so the demon comes up, and it takes you through a bunch of. There was one scene later on in the movie, like when the shit's hitting the fan really bad, right? And they have the blood of Jesus in a glass ball, and the one guy says this is the blood of Jesus, and then the more laid back dude in the film, he says holy shit, and he goes the holiest, that was terrible, man. Whoever wrote that in sucked. I mean, because it did not fit the whole timing and everything, because they weren't kicking jokes nowhere, and then all of a sudden, bang, there's a crappy joke. But anyway, it just takes you through a bunch of scares. The nun just scares you to death. And I read the reviews to this, and they were about 50-50, and I didn't read anything that gave spoilers or anything. But I'll tell you what I hate about reviews. When you go into a movie, okay, and you're all analytical. Okay, you're like, I've seen so many of these. They're the same old thing. Or, I hear that from other people. They just like, yeah, all typical jump scare. Dude, I grew up in a household. When my dad, when he watched movies, and my dad was a big movie watcher, especially when VHS came out. We watched the hell out of VHS. I mean, it was a nightly thing. Like I stayed up till midnight every night. Even when I was, well, VHS came out. I guess I was about in 7th grade. So anyway, sixth or 7th grade, something like that. Anyway, but it was one of those deals. We stayed up. He popped a movie in when he owned his own business. We owned our own business, whatever. And when he would get home at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, he was going to watch a movie. And he was really cool. He let you going to get up and go to school, But at the same time, because he'd be up at he'd go with like 5 hours sleep. He'd be up the next day and he'd be working hard early in the morning. Anyway, so we always watched movies. So I watched everything. And then when I was old enough to drive, it was just back and forth, VHS City, Anyway, but when you watched a movie in my house, you never were allowed to say a word. Not a word. It was one of those deals. You sat down and you shut up and you paid attention. And really, if you ever tried to get a hold of my dad while he's watching a movie, hey, Dad, he just sat there with a blank stare. He could zone out better than anybody I've ever seen in my life. And he'd be watching a movie. And my dad's one of these guys that literally nothing scares him. He don't believe in nothing supernatural. He nothing scares him. But if something jumped, jump scares would get him because they get everybody. But he got so involved in every movie, even total crap movies. He would sit there and get totally involved in whatever's happening. And he watched everything. The whole, he actually didn't like scary movies or science fiction, but he would watch everything that came out. Anyway, so I grew up. That's the way we were. We were totally and not to mention I was alone a lot growing up, and so I was in my room when I was watching TV, and I wasn't sitting there, picking things apart and overanalyzing stuff. And I always tell people, man, if you don't go into a movie and you don't wash your damn brain out and go in there and just say, man, I'm going in here with an empty cup, that's Bruce Lee. I'm going in here with a empty cup, and I'm gonna just take in what hits me, and I'm not gonna think of nothing during the movie. That's why I don't like references in a movie that you're in a movie, because I totally zone out. I totally get into it. And so maybe that helps me like a lot of movies that maybe other people think are cheesy or corny or whatever, or I get scared when people, and like I say, I've got friends, they just, they overanalyze the hell out of the movies. And I'm like, well, I got friends that you come out of a movie with that go, man, that movie, that was awesome. That was really good, man. I love this and I love that. And then a week later, they're like, oh, that movie sucked, because they read reviews and they thought about it and all that stuff. Anyway, so I'm telling you right now, The Nun is freaking scary. You can't give it all away. There was some crap that happened in there that's really nuts. And man, I highly recommend it. But I recommend you go in there with a dang open mind, man. And don't think about it. Just let it happen. Like you're in the movie. I like feel myself walking down the corridors and I'm in this castle and I'm looking all around and I feel it myself. I'm like in it, So that's why I get so into it. And my kids, I brought them up the same way, and so they're really into it. So it scared the crap out of them, So it was just a lot of fun. So I'm giving The Nun thumbs up, man. It was a good movie. Y'all got another one coming because I just watched another movie the night before to do one of these, and now I'm going to do it now.